It's chow time!
Chow time! Chow time!
Ever wonder why we use that phrase when it's time to eat? The truth is shocking. The US military loves this phrase, so much so that they name their mess halls chow halls. They've popularized this word so much that chow, chow time, chow down, and even puppy chow has become popular everyday slang. And as you'll soon discover, puppy chow has a deeper, and some might say darker meaning than you originally would think. It'll give you food for thought. But where did the military get this word? And what does chow have to do with food or eating? Let me explain, so you can be wise to the words.
Chow time.
Chow time, you guys.
Chow time! Chow time! All aboard the Chow Chow train!
While the phrase chow time entered the US military slang and everyday American slang back in the 1800s from the original Chinese immigrants who entered the US to work on the railroad. This was the era of the monumental construction project called the Transcontinental Railroad. It was a massive project completed in 1869, which connected the eastern US rail network to the West Coast, which significantly transformed transportation and commerce in the United States. The Central Pacific Railroad, one of the companies involved in the project, heavily relied on Chinese immigrants as laborers, and they played a crucial role in the railroad's construction, particularly through the difficult terrain of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Originally, the railroad didn't want to employ the Chinese immigrants. One, foreigners. Second, of their on average smaller stature. But they eventually gave them a chance, and they were good at it. And obviously, let's be honest, they could more easily exploit and abuse these foreigners. The Chinese were treated horribly by their employers. It is estimated that between 15,000 and 20,000 Chinese immigrants worked on the construction of the railroad. Not only did they face racial prejudice and neglect, their labor was backbreaking and exceedingly dangerous. Many hundreds, perhaps a few thousand, died from either the cold winters, the heat of the summer, from disease, especially scurvy, but also various accidents along the way, including explosions and landslides. In fact, there was a phrase in that day that perfectly encapsulates this probability of dying doing this dangerous job. Not a Chinaman's chance was the phrase.
Americans say, not a Chinaman's chance. And a round-eyed Guaylo would laugh.
If you had a Chinaman's chance, you didn't have much of a chance at all. A very low probability of success. It's like saying when pigs fly, or having a snowball's chance in hell. Not much at all.
I'm guessing you don't have much experience with heat.
Nope. But not every Chinese immigrant out west worked on the railroad. Some of them did other manual labor jobs on the periphery of the great railroad push. Some went into the laundry business, while others, because of their great culinary skill, became professional cooks. So the Americans, hearing the Chinese cooks speaking Mandarin or Cantonese, would overhear them saying one particular word over and over and over. That word is chow. Chow, in the Mandarin of their day at least, meant food. And even in Cantonese, chow, spelled C-H-A-O, meant fry. Sometimes chow meant mixed, perhaps because some of the food would be mixed, like in a stir fry. So the Americans constantly heard the Chinese cooks say chow this and chow that. The language-limited Americans naturally associated eating and food with the word chow. It was chow time, food time. There you go. A new American idiom. Interestingly, there's another chow many people know, and that's the Chow Chow dog breed. This fluffy, lion-like dog has a surprising connection to this word's origins. Guess what that is? Well, the Chow Chow was originally bred by the Chinese as a food source, among a few other breeds. Actually, the Chow Chow has been called the Chinese edible dog. Literally, dog chow for human. Now, obviously, it would be wrong and racist to say that all Chinese eat dog meat. But it is true that in some regions of China, and in some countries in the world, dog meat is part of the local cuisine, or historically has been. That's just a fact.
That's not paranoia. That's a fact.
In the West, it's taboo to eat dog or cat or other domestic pets, but that's not true of every place or culture in the world. It's legal in many countries. China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Korea, Nigeria, Ghana, India, even Switzerland, where approximately 3% of the population eat dog meat. There's no law against it. It was estimated that in 2014, now this is worldwide, 25 million dogs are consumed by humans each year. Wow. Now, to be fair, the Chow Chow dog was not named that by the Chinese themselves, because they were food. But when these dogs were shipped to England, the crates were marked Chow Chow, which in Chinese Pidgin English meant miscellaneous merchandise. The English figured that that was the name of the breed, and it stuck. It just so happened that these little edible dogs were branded with the most appropriate word, chow, which meant mixed, but also primarily meant food or fry. The Chow Chow. Fried dog. They are eating the dogs. Sometimes that's true. Now, you're wise to the words.